Let tonight's story be a reminder of peace and calm for you. Binka and Sweet Pea, The Wisdom of the Garden. This story is about Binka, a young girl who learns profound lessons of wisdom and life from Sweet Pea, a wise garden guardian, through the vibrant beauty of her garden. In a small, serene village, where endless fields of flowers lay under the sun's gentle embrace, there lived a young girl named Binka. Binka had beautiful locks of blonde hair that danced like golden silk in the wind, and her eyes sparkled with the curiosity of 1,000 stars. Her favorite place in the entire village was the majestic garden that spread vastly behind her little house, tended meticulously by her hands and heart. In this magical space, colors burst from every corner, crimson roses, azure lilies, and indigo irises creating a canvas of nature's art. Their daily journey in the garden was not just a matter of caring for the blossoms, but a celebration of life itself. Amongst this paradise, a very special friend dwelt, a wise garden guardian known as Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea was a gentle being, her appearance like a delicate creature woven from vines and petals, with emerald green eyes that shone deep into the soul. One day, as the sun was bidding the sky farewell, casting hues of purple and orange, Sweet Pea appeared beside Binka with a warm, glowing presence. Binka, Sweet Pea said softly, her voice reminiscent of the whispering wind through leaves, "The garden has much to teach, if only you listen closely and embrace its wisdom." Binka traced to look the swelling colors of her garden, feeling a sense of wonder and respect. She nodded eagerly, ready to learn what the ancient guardian had to share. Every flower, each leaf, Sweet Pea continued, her emerald eyes meeting Binka's, holds a story, a lesson of patience and harmony. As they walked through the garden, Sweet Pea pointed to a sun-drenched marigold that stood tall despite being surrounded by creeping vines. "See how resilient it is," Sweet Pea mused. "Even in adversity, it shines with its own vibrant light." Binka watched the marigold's unwavering stance and felt the spark of inspiration brewing inside her heart. "And here," Sweet Pea gestured toward the lilacs that danced with the breeze, "they teach us grace, adaptability, the beauty in swaying with life's changes." Binka marveled at how each petal seemed in sync with the rhythm of nature. As the evening moved further into its deep blue tapestry, Sweet Pea guided Binka to a secluded part of the garden where the ancient oak tree spread its regal branches. "Here lies wisdom, in silence," Sweet Pea whispered. "The oak has stood for centuries, witnessing the cycles of life, the ebb and flow of seasons. Beneath its mighty boughs, Binka felt a profound peace, understanding that wisdom was not just about knowing but also living and experiencing." He smiled at Binka, her presence radiating kindness. "Hold these lessons close, dear Binka, for they will guide you as stars guide travelers in the night." With a heart full of gratitude, Binka thanked Sweet Pea, feeling richer than she had ever felt before. As Binka returned to the glow of her home with her thoughts entwined in the evening's quiet promise, she realized that wisdom was indeed a gardenless, nurturing and waiting to be embraced and understood. And she knew that with Sweet Pea's guidance, she would always find her way. The garden, and its guardian, would remain her beacon of wisdom, lighting her path through life's most wondrous adventures. The next story waits, calm and comforting. Embrace of Orchid and Zinnia. This story is about the heartwarming bond formed between a human named Orchid and a tiger named Zinnia for shared adventures and mutual trust. In the heart of a lush, emerald forest, where the whispering winds danced among ancient trees, there lived a human named Orchid and a majestic tiger named Zinnia. So Orchid, gentle and curious, often wandered through the forest paths with a sketchbook in hand, capturing the vibrant life around her. Her hair, the color of midnight, often tangled with the delicate flowers she adored. Zinnia, with her fiery orange coat and eyes that held the wisdom of ages, patrolled the forest with grace and strength. Despite the vastness of the forest, their paths had never crossed until one golden afternoon. Orchid was sitting by the crystal-clear river, her pencil gliding swiftly over the page as she tried to capture the glint of sunlight on what. Suddenly, she heard a rustle behind her and turned to see Zinnia's formidable form emerging from the shadows. At first, there was a moment of fearful awe between them as Orchid froze, her heart pounding in her chest. But Zinnia's moon's eyes, bright and observant, softened with a gentle warmth that melted Orchid's fear away. Zinnia, sensing Orchid's initial trepidation, moved slowly, sitting down a respectful distance away. The two shared a tentative smile, the distance between their hearts shrinking with each passing moment. As the days passed, Orchid and Zinnia's unlikely friendship deepened. They wandered together, under the canopy of green, exploring hidden nooks of the forest. Orchid sketched Zinnia's powerful stride, and Zinnia, in turn, often rested her great head on Orchid of black slot, quite contently. One evening, as the sky blushed with hues of pink and purple, a sudden storm brewed. The wind howled, bending branches to its will. Orchid and Zinnia found themselves in a small cave, seeking shelter from the torrential rain. Inside, the air was cold, filled with the scent of earth and moss. Lightning lit the sky outside. Orchid shivered. Zinnia, sensing her friend's unease, came closer, wrapping her thick tail round Orchid. The warmth and comfort of Zinnia's embrace were like a gentle promise that everything would be all right. Orchid leaned into Zinnia, finding solace in the tiger's steady heartbeat. The storm raged on, but inside the cave, there was calm. It was an embrace that spoke volumes, a silent conversation of trust and affection that transcended words. Once the storm passed, and the moonlight washed silver over the world, the two friends emerged, their spirits unbroken. They walked under the now starlit sky, understanding without needing to speak that they were bonded forever by that storm and the embrace that followed. From then on, Orchid and Zinnia were inseparable. They accepted each other as they were, with her delicate, open heart, and Zinnia with her powerful, protective spirit. In each other, they found a sanctuary of love and acceptance, a testament to the beautiful fact that sometimes the strongest embrace is born not from similarity, but from a shared journey through storm and calm. Now, let's embrace another gentle story. Fred and Hannah's Journey of Hope. This story is about Petria and her hamster Hannah, who overcome village hardships through hope and resilience. Once upon a time in a small village, surrounded by lush meadows and vibrant wildflowers, there lived a young girl named Priya. Priya had a special friend, a little hamster named Hannah. Hannah, with her soft golden fur and sparkly eyes, was a source of unending joy for Petria. Every evening, Priya would visit Hannah in her cozy little house, a small wooden cabin nestled beside Petria's favorite oak tree. Their bond was unlike any other. It was woven with dreams and hopes shared under the twinkling stars. One starry night, Petria had a particularly heavy heart. Her village was facing tough times as the crops had been affected by an unexpected drought. Sitting by Hannah, she whispered tales of her worries. Hannah twitched her whiskers and nuzzled closer, as if to say that they would find a way through. Inspired by Hannah's unyielding optimism, Petria decided to gather her courage and think of solutions. Petria spent days researching ways to help her village. With Hannah accompanying her every step, she read old books and consulted the village elders. Her efforts soon bore fruit. She discovered an ancient method to collect dindi that could nourish the wealthy plants. Together, she and Hannah shared the method with the villagers, and hope began to sprout once again. Slowly but surely, green shoots started to appear, and the village was revived. The relationship between Petite and Hannah had transcended beyond playful companionship. They became symbols of resilience and hope. As the stars watched over them each night, Freya would recount their journey to Hannah, believing that their friendship could weather any storm together. Freya knew that as long as she had Hannah by her side, they could face any challenge that came their way with love, hope, and courage. And thus, in that small village surrounded by breathtaking beauty, Petria and Hannah taught everyone that even in the harshest times, hope was the thread that wove the fabric of life, enchanting and ever-enduring. Let's drift further into peace with the next story. William and Hannah, the Empathy Journey. This story is about the growing empathic relationship between William and Hannah, transforming their lives and community. Under the twinkling canopy of stars, a quaint village nestled between lush hills and soaring rivers lay quiet and still. Among its inhabitants was a kind-hearted man named William, whose gentle nature was appreciated by all who crossed his path. William had always been fascinated by the beauty of the night sky, often wandering into the woods to admire its splendor. One chilly evening, as the crisp autumn breeze whispered through the trees, William sat under a particularly ancient oak tree, lost in thought. Suddenly, his quiet reverie was interrupted by the soft rustle of wings. A crow, small and frail, landed beside him, staring with curious eyes. Her name was Hannah, and unlike the rest of her kind who shied away from humans, she seemed to have a peculiar interest in him. With soft clicks and caws, Hannah communicated her desire to befriend this strange, gentle human. William, with his boundless antipathy, understood Hannah's intent, welcoming her softly with a handful of seeds. As weeks went by, a unique friendship blossomed. William realized Hannah was different. For her inquisitive soul matched his own, exploring the verdant forests and sparkling rivers by his side. Together, they experienced the world anew, their curiosity leading them to hidden paths and the music of nature that whistled through the leaves. Hannah sought William to see through her eyes, showing him the intricate network of relationships in the natural world. Birds shared secrets amidst the branches, while swallows danced across the ground in playful abandon. Each creature, as Hannah revealed, had its own story and struggles. William listened intently, his heart expanding with newfound understanding for every living being. Then, one sunny afternoon, while strolling past the babbling brook, William heard a distressed cry, faint but desperate. Following Hannah's intuition, they discovered a fellow villager in need of help, trapped under a fallen tree. Without hesitation, William and Hannah orchestrated a rescue, rallying nearby villagers to help the stranded soul. His actions, guided by empathy and compassion, proved inspiring, fostering a sense of community unlike any other before. By their example, empathy grew within each villager, urging them to act with kindness and understanding. As the golden sun set behind the hills, William, with Hannah perched on his shoulder, reflected on their shared journey. Their friendship was more than companionship. It had become a beacon for others, shining with the light of might and beauty that they spread. William realized that Hannah, a mere crow, had gifted him a profound truth, that empathy knows no bounds, transcending the barriers of species and opening hearts in unexpected ways. May you wake up renewed and refreshed. Sweet dreams.